Culture Casino. Oh my goodness, I love Saturdays and I love coffee. Boy, do we got news. Holy cow. Hey, Mr. Cat's in the house. We got Lex out there. Yeah, there's a lot of oof coming out of Star Wars right now. Hollywood will burn. It actually will. Hey, you're very welcome for standing up to everybody's Superman nonsense. I love Marvin. He's great. I'm going to tell you right now, I'm not as excited about the Superman movie now that I've seen it at the trailer. This is like Schrodinger's movie at this point. We don't know if it's good or bad. It just isn't feeling very good. It's like, it's like that you eat a piece of iffy chicken. That's what it's like right now. James Gunn's DC is like eating some iffy chicken. It was probably sitting out for too long, but then you decided to eat. Yeah, so there's that. Our favorite pole bar is out there. Good to see you. And we got Tobach out there saying aloha to magnify. The lovely Jill is here with her wrench. Look at all these great people. I'm so blessed this morning. Share the stream, share the dream, hit the thumbs up button right away. It actually does help. The lovely Juliet's doing it from across the pond, which means you can do it too. Right now. I dare you. Seriously. Oh, starting off big already. Mark Fields drops the positive vibes on everybody. Good morning. Good morning. Happy Saturday, each and every one of you. And Mark is wishing you a happy Saturday as well. Beautiful day to you. The Superman trailer was very mixed for me. Oh, if I had a nickel right now. Yeah, nobody has been effusively positive on this one. You know what I mean? They're not jumping up and down. They're not super excited. I was apprehensive with the idea that somebody in the quote unquote modern audience era, because that's really where we are still. We're firmly in the bologna sausage. This thing has the staying power of like I don't know, an ice cream sandwich that isn't full of emulsifiers like everything coming out of Walmart. Yeah, that was really specific because apparently if you take a Walmart ice cream sandwich out of the freezer and put it at a room temperature about 80 degrees, you leave it there for 8 hours, it did not deform. That should worry you. There's all these thickeners and these other things in these ice cream sandwiches. And at the end of the day, it's just what could have been an ice cream sandwich that now is like just full of stuff, like a lot of stuff. I don't like to eat a lot of stuff. I want coffee in my coffee. You know what I'm saying? I want I like food in my food. I don't like extra things coming with food. I don't like extra oils or any of these other things. I don't want added anything. Just give me the food. The food. If I want to add things to it, then that's like an additive ingredient that I need to be very excited about, like cheese, right? I'm just saying, that's kind of how I feel about what we're going into with the modern audience superheroes now. Ever since Endgame, we've been inundated with garbaggio. And it's just varying degrees of garbaggio. And we're going to get around to just mentioning the fact that Ironheart's not doing well. I got a video coming out with Kevin Apollo, probably not later today, but probably tomorrow. We recorded a couple. I've got a couple being recorded with some other folks today and again on Sunday. Well, wait. Yeah. Sunday. And then hopefully we've got a kind of a full week's worth of video at the very least. But I want to say thanks to Mark Fields for the super chat. We got a few other folks rolling through here, like the Raven in the writing desk. Keep writing. How do you be a writer? Keep writing. Keep writing. Mark Daly's in the house. Good to see you, Mark. We've got the lovely Sherry out there. Brian and Cindy are joining us. And we got Apex. What's up? My good pal, my buddy, the Common Nerds, as doing a 24-hour stream for his birthday that started yesterday afternoon. So if you catch up with that at some point in the day, say happy birthday. Spaceship Vampires out there. Good to see you, my friend. We've got Salty Nerd Podcast coming up right after this one today. And Release the McCracken is here. What's going on, Robbie? Gary Banjo Sandwich Worthington, one of the greatest names here. UK, hello. Hello. Houston, hello. Good to see you all. Indeed. Oh, man. I have like 7 or 8 stories. I hid them. I made a paragraph, but I hid the balance of them. Walter Tomaszewski. Hey, anything silly or disastrous to report? Yes. First of all, I got to tell you, we didn't get a chance to cover this on my channel. You may have seen the story already, especially if you follow Mr. H. Hey, Frank's here. Frank's here. But you got crazy stuff going over on Jaguar. And if you're not familiar with what I'm talking about, well, here you go. Do you remember the, not so subtle they them commercial for Jaguar? Didn't work out so well. So Jaguar Land Rover is hunting for a new advertising agency. Who said this was going to happen? This guy. This was absolutely disastrous. And right now the UK is in the middle of hey, we need to rewind the clock because we're about to get our clock cleaned internally by a bunch of people that are here, well, because we were trying to live up to the globalist ideals of destroying your country for the betterment of the world, which doesn't make sense to me. But I think a lot of the European countries and their citizens, their actual bona fide citizens, are a little frustrated right now. You're seeing the populism rise in that particular part of the world. And to go hand in hand with that is industry. And one of the largest industries in the UK, or one of the most profitable, at one point in time was their vehicles. Now, while the dampness absolutely murders the electrical system on any of these things and has since the 1950s, they now make them electric, which is another disaster that they've discovered. Of course, they aren't owned by themselves anymore. I know that sounds odd. They were bought by Tata Motors Group in India. So while they may be built in the UK, they're not really a UK company anymore. But set all of that aside and just recognize that this kind of disastrous commercial right here, that I can't tell you how many times I've suffered on various channels. There you go. So there was a lot of things you could do there. None of them was, look at a car. It was crazy. Apparently, one of the guys was there with a hair, or one of the they-thems that was there, decided that cutting their afro to look like a wedge was a good plan. I don't know. Anyway, so they're replacing their current advertising agency just months after they took massive backlash over their controversial rebrand. Yeah, they got rid of the actual growler, the cat that was on the Jaguar that distinguishes this car from another one that looks similar, like everything that came after, like the extended nose Beamers or the, other companies that started to compete. One of the ways you could tell the difference was the growler, which they got rid of. You got a stylized JR name badge now. So the in-house agency that I guess is being put under review, Accenture Song, and their in-house agency Spark 44 were supposed to be employed through mid-2026. I have a feeling that won't last very much longer. Critics of the radical rebrand, including Nigel Farage and Elon Musk. Hey, I was there too. Why do I never get named in a Daily Mail article? Folks, help me get named in a Daily Mail article, because I feel like that'll help me make it, at least with my friends in the UK. Now, I know it's not Gutfeld, I know it's not Fox, but, maybe someday, dare to dream. Regardless, it comes after the company announced plans to shift to electric vehicles, which is dumb. The U.S. could possibly throw absolutely out, believe it or not. Did you know that it is within Trump's power to make a treaty have to go through the actual treaty process and have the majority of the, no, it's actually 2/3 of the states, and both houses of Congress have to come together to actually make it happen. So we've been living under some rules and things that weren't properly put into place. So I would like to take the Paris Accords and anything associated with it, or any of those other rules that are only designed to tear down nations like the United States, because they're not enforced against anybody. You have to self-enforce them. I say we get rid of them and go back to, everybody making their own stuff and things. Hey, it's Grant. Grant. Grant, I watched this morning since I was awake at 3. Yeah, I'm not sleeping still. I watched Grant over on, I guess, the FAP now, I guess, over on Lethal Lightning's channel, right? It used to be the Full Aussie. But it was fun. You guys were enjoyable. Thank you for that. And we can be on stream anytime, man. I'd love to do videos with you again. I miss you, bro. I miss you. But you are very AI-y. AI-y? He's doing good stuff. You got to check out Grant. Grant's awesome. Jeff's out there. Good to see you. Regardless, let's get back to the garbage at hand. The car is unremarkable. The managing director, Rawdong Glover, that's his name, Rawdong Glover. Rawdong Glover. Doesn't sound good, however you say it, to be fair. Told the Financial Times, if we play in the same way that everybody else does, we'll just get drowned out. Dude, you took the cats and put them all in a bag at the same time and threw them in the river. What is he talking about? Look at this. It's like free show on parade. This is like, Andy Warhol's Inner Circle, we're I don't know, reanimated by Dr. Frankenstein himself and gave us this hot mess. Hot mess. Anyway, so Jaguar says this new philosophy will command attention. No, and it wasn't creative in any way. However, sales plunged by more than a quarter in 2024, with Jaguar selling 33,320 cars. That's a staggering drop from 61,661. Yeah, first of all, nobody wants electric cars. I mean, the people that do have bought them. The early adopters will continue to adopt the newer models. You'll have a very limited resale market because, well, they have a finite end date for the most part. Unlike, a petrol powered vehicle, which you can kind of rebuild. In fact, what we really need to do here in the States and around the world is stop complicating cars too much and not worry so much about how you're going to control the car turning on and off and wearing out the starter over the course of time. But we won't get into that. Regardless, lots of other corporations followed very similar woke rebrands, and that really blew things up. The Bud Light team up absolutely destroyed Bud Light in a way that is irreversible, and this is continuing to happen. And yet, I don't have any outrage for this anymore. I don't care about this, this troop of they thems. All I know is we told you so. We told you. Had you talked to any person on the street, Fred, Barney, anybody, Betty, right? I'm just going to tell you, Wilma's not going to buy this car anymore. She's going to think, I don't want to look silly taking the kids to soccer, or I guess football in the UK. So yeah, this thing's done. Anytime a company goes woke anymore, they have to have in the back of their heads that this is going to destroy them. And it usually does. It's Surprise Day. Surprise Day, Mouseketeer Surprise Day. Anything can happen. And if it's woke, it usually destroys things. It's so great to see everybody today. Hope you're having a great day. Got a lot of you out there. And for those of you joining us late, welcome. For those of you on the green machine, it's great to see you. We got Mexican Iron Man out there. He's throwing some love out there from the chat. We got him right here with a $10 super chat, I think. I don't know. Does that say 10? I think it says 10. He says, look who's live. The guy who can't make it to the post office. I can. I'm sending you the thing. And when you get the things, you're going to change your tune. I'm just saying. You really are. But it's good to see you. And thank you. I got to go. You're going to be fine. Calm down. All right. Who else is out there in the world? We got more. Wow. Who else? I need to go get my bike out. Awesome. Is it a nice day to ride? Sweet. 11 Alpha's out there. Apex is out there. Got more folks rolling in the door. So, yeah, we got so much going on. Andrew Wordna is in the house. Good to see you. Definitely hit the like. EVs are great for cities. Hybrids are even better. But they are not a panacea. No, they are not. Not to mention the fact they are not great for long runs, let's just say. Especially if you're trying to get somewhere with brevity. I didn't read your actual... Oh my gosh, Mike, you are... You know what? Somebody said that some people were Mexican Iron Man. They did. Mikey says, look who's live. Lots of people. The guy that can't make it to the post office to send Mexican high roller casino chips, unsubbing and deactivating membership to protest and chanting, hey, hey, ho, ho, without chips, I got to go. Hey, hey, ho, ho. Is that better? Or did I read it too much? I shouldn't have repeated it. Should have read it verbatim. You know what? You don't give Gary this much trouble. Just saying. Man. Do check out the lawn care business, though. It's going really well. Okay, now I'm happy. I hope you're taking care of... I hope you're taking care of Nick. I guess he didn't make it to ICCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCCC I'm just saying. All right. All right. So that took care of that one. Jaguar Land Rover is over. But what's not over and what's wild is the Diddy trial. The Diddy trial is not over. Not over. It's not over when it's over. Let's take a look at that. Why not? Let's get the deadline version of this. Shocker! Are you shocked? I know today's the 17th. This was yesterday, so maybe it's old news from yesterday afternoon. But Cassie, whatever you want to call her, Ventura, reveals a $10 million settlement from the hotel over the 2016 Sean Diddy Combs beating that she took. That's right. You guys saw it. You probably saw the video by now. I know I did. And not great. Not great. So yeah. So as of 12/25, details from inside and outside court added in completely unexpected testimony. Cassie Ventura admitted today at Sean Combs' trafficking trial that she has a settlement for $10 million coming from an LA hotel. Under questioning from defense lawyer Anna Estevao, that's a weird name, a hesitant and somewhat stuttering Ventura revealed that she and her representatives have come to agreement that the Intercontinental Hotel in Century City for an 8-figure payout captured in March of 2016 on the Intercontinental's security cameras and investigated by one of the hotel's guards at the time. The beating of Ventura by the half-naked Diddy has been widely seen in and out of court since it was obtained and broadcast by CNN last spring. Ventura's testimony has now ended, and she has left the courtroom after 4 days in the witness box that were not helpful to the diddler. As the very pregnant Ventura rose to exit, Judge Aaron Subramanian wished her a great weekend. Oh, that was kind. Explaining that the settlement with the Intercontinental had been reached in the past month, Ventura stated that she has not yet received the money. However, this $10 million sum to come follows the $20 million settlement Ventura reached quickly with Combs in November of 2023 after filing an abuse and assault civil lawsuit against her longtime boyfriend. Though Ventura had earlier this afternoon told Assistant U.S. Attorney Emily Johnson that she had no financial fate in Combs' criminal trial. Well, how would she? The criminal trial? I don't know about that. The news of the multi-million-dollar hotel settlement elicited gasps in the courtroom. Well, I bet. It's a lot of money. Well, for most people. I don't know about her. But extremely deftly played by the defense and unveiling the $10 million hotel settlement at what many assumed was going to be a low-key ending to Ventura's testimony comes as a blow to the prosecution. I'm not sure about that. First of all, it's casting Ventura as less than forthcoming. Folks, the jury has been seeing all of these explicit videos and photographs and exhibits that are really causing the jurors' eyebrows to stitch in the kindest language I can possibly couch it in. They've been aghast that people have actually asked for breaks in this trial that are on the jury because of the astonishing things that are being revealed here. Now, you can look at, in his case, you can look at cuckoldry as a lifestyle choice. I'm not certain that I would find it to be like that. I would be recommending various types of treatments and counseling and things like that. But I'm not a professional. It just seems like not exactly some of the greatest choices. Speaking not the greatest choices, during the course of this, lots of crazy things were revealed, including the naked dude dancer from Florida, whose wife was a prominent attorney, by the way. That he divorced so that he could go off and do other things. And I guess for a time he worked for Dancing Bear, which I'm to understand is an adult entertainment company. Also did the Lonely Fans people, the room full of fans, and was apparently a hired person to perform various acts so Diddy could watch. I don't know how else to say this, but this was supposed to be bad news for the prosecution. Do you know why it's being couched by Deadline and other entertainment entities in this way? Because revelations of this particular kind of filth that's usually hidden very much behind the curtain is really casting a very bad light on the entirety of Hollywood and our political structure, considering that Hakeem Jeffries and a few others were named as regulars at these events that Diddy held. That's not a good thing. We already knew that there were some really super sketchy folks, with the last name of Clintons. But some of these newcomers, we had no idea that they were involved in the same filth. So there's that. There's a lot of things in here. Probably is worth your time to go and read. I would read the entire week's recap rather than try to struggle through each day's session. But it's long, and just how badly things were happening to just this one person, um, being manipulated to do things. That's not a fun place for humanity to be. And I don't think anybody will want to look at their music, television, and film stars in that light. And they certainly don't want to see their politicians delving into this garbage. So there's that. Um, Wild stuff. Mexican Iron Man says, "Don't judge the Bear Club." Oh, hey, you got good tips at the Bear Club? Uh, I knew you could shake it. Hey, how close are you getting to 5K? Wait, it's pretty close now, right? Mexican Iron Man, you're getting there. Not only are you close to monetization, but you're really getting close. Going to be interesting. I think I'm excited. Hey, Phil, what's going on? Just got here. Hi, everybody. What's up, Phil? Um, yeah, and this is a great question. Why is the hotel involved in this settlement? I don't know, because they didn't stop it. Because they tried to cover it up. Um, I Who knows? I mean, when you're this rich and famous, lots of crazy stuff happens. I'm sure. I mean, not to me, but you know, Mexican Iron Bear. Thank you, Scribelight. I think for those of you that are quality memers out there, I would like a Mike Mexican Iron Man as a bear. I think we need Mexican Iron Bear complete with a sombrero. That's right, and a mustache, and those glasses that he wears. Sassy Lass in the house. Good to see you. Would like to say thank you to the person who gifted me a month of membership. Well, I'm glad you're here. Anyway, Sassy Lass, it's been a minute, dear. Hope everything's going okay. Tony's out there. I'm looking forward to watch these dominoes fall. There's a lot of dominoes. Lombardi, what's up? We got we got a lot to do before lunch. That's what they say. But it's great to see you. I'm hungry now. You know what? This is true. Mr. Morningstar here is correct. Diddy's not really going to be a substitute for Epstein. There's way worse with the Epstein stuff, and I have a feeling we're going to keep seeing it leak. Oh. Wait, you still have 3K subs and not growing. That's not true. Didn't you? You had a 485% growth spurt in 1 week. Everybody who doesn't know, Mexican Iron Man, this fellow right here has an amazing YouTube channel. He doesn't have to produce very much content at all. Everybody just loves this guy. He's one of the biggest and hottest professionals in our business right now. So there's that. Jared Markham, I'm already subbed to the next K9. Ooh, man, I subbed to him when he stream stamped you for my celebration. Man, I wish it was the 50K. I think you mean the 30K celebration, but yeah. And yeah. Tom has been here for 10 months. He's a good man, a good friend, and a good mod. He's also one of the guys that makes the Discord function. Says, hit the like and share this out, people. 10 months. That's right. You've been here for a while, my friend. Mark Daly's out there. Jesus Davila is out there, or Davia. See, I here's the problem. I am now confused about the pronunciation of your last name because of Toxic Man Flu. I'm going to continue to say Jesus Davia. That probably means I'm wrong. It could be Jesus Davila, which I'm fine with either way. But I appreciate the 10 Culture Casino memberships from Jesus Davila, which gets us this celebration. And we're back. Thank you very much again for 10 Culture Casino memberships. That's a huge impact on our show. And all names are going green right now. It's amazing. It's amazing. All right. Well, we move right along on this show. We don't dwell unless you guys would like to dwell on the crazy. The crazy. One L is Davila. Two L's is Davia, or vice versa, Rob. Somebody help me out. I'll fix it, Jeff. I'll fix it. Regardless, it's worth the read. You can go and check out the story in its entirety. And I'm going to tell you, the testimony this week is just the beginning. Yes, they don't have the key witness. I imagine they'll force them somehow to testify. But maybe not. I mean, you have to remember the person that's in charge of this prosecution is the daughter of the guy that just threatened the current president of the United States and seems to have gotten away with it again. That's not a story we were going to cover. We probably won't. But what we will cover is the headliner of the day. What I'm going to call an oopsie that Disney could ill afford. One of the last things that you need is controversy around the most popular character that you have in a given franchise, which would be Darth Vader in Star Wars. Believe it or not, Star Wars merch is oriented around Darth Vader. T-shirts, obviously lightsabers, costumes, all kinds of things that are Darth Vader themed have a massive pull on not just merchandise, but everywhere else, including video games. Here's a problem with that. When you are diving over to the video game side of the equation, you don't want to be too hasty with things. You just don't, right? You don't. You can't afford to make a mistake with one of the most valuable pieces of property in a given franchise. And yet, that's exactly what has happened. Disney decided flippantly to allow for the voice of Darth Vader via AI, James Earl Jones, be utilized by players so they can chat like Vader. Here's something they didn't think about. What would happen when they did that? They apparently had close consultation with the Jones family, which kind of makes me sad because nobody warned them that their dad and grandfather, his voice would be utilized as the iconic character to say just disgusting things, very racist things, very outright hateful things, slurs, all kinds of things like that. So the Disney company and Epic Games say that players of its flagship Fortnite game will be able to recruit and speak to Darth Vader in the game starting today. Well, today was the 16th. That was yesterday. And already just incredible amounts of amazingly racist statements, things like that were recorded, obviously for purposes of humor in most cases, but then people just started being downright nasty. The Vader character is using the voice of Jones, recreated with the help of generative AI. The company's noted in a blog post that they are doing so in close consultation with the family. Epic says that the dialogue in Darth Vader's responses to users in the game will be created by Google's Gemini Flash model, and the audio itself is being generated by 11 Labs, which means it sounds great. The problem is, what is it saying? All kinds of things. I've seen, like I said, just some hateful stuff come out of this and just long lines of racism. AI is changing the game for sure when it comes to things like that. But this is dumb. Why? Why would you do this? You're creating a controversy that is inescapable. You have many outlets now not writing about the main story anymore. They're writing about the things I'm talking about. The distraction of having people be able to go full Vader in inappropriate ways, in as many ways as they can. That's not beneficial to anybody. And I think it's frustrating to people. I don't know. Maybe that's my take. I'm going to see what you guys have to say. Um, I'm with Rob here. Technology comes with unintended consequences. That's a kind of way to put it. I don't think anybody realized just how quickly this would fall apart. It always does. Phil, what's up? Says off topic. Okay. Um, I should have messed around more with the Alexa device in the WDW room I was staying at for 10 days. Yeah, you would have really screwed it up, Phil. Lots of crazy stuff. Tony, what's up? I honestly believe humanity is devolving. I think that we are allowing for people to devolve. I think we no longer have an education system in this country, which we are trying desperately to rectify. But when you have entire school districts that don't have a reading proficiency level over, you know, 20%, there's a problem. There's a problem. Does anyone remember the Vader voice in Star Wars Outlaws? It was not good. Yeah, this is new. 11 Labs does good stuff. If you're familiar with AI and you've ever used 11 Labs, pretty cool. But I'm just not really a big fan of this. Oh, I'm not about censoring. I'm not. I'm just saying they opened the door wide to what I would say is devaluing their character and their franchise. Um, he's losing the argument. Who is? I wasn't making an argument. I think you're in full troll mode today, my friend. Uh, hey, thank you, Beach Dad. I'm having a good day so far. Um, well, to be fair, Outlaws was poorly made by people who were meritless employees, so of course it's going to be bad all around. It didn't look good either. It came out broken. Jar Jar is the supreme Sith Lord. I can get behind that, and I agree. Oh, man. All right. Well, I guess I was more concerned with the future of Star Wars, but it's fine. I just feel like selling out is selling out. It is what it is. Um, you know what? Normally we talk a little bit about the box office. They don't care about Vader. He's a relic of the old world. They don't have a lot that sells merchandise, and it's all the old stuff. So I don't know. Da-da-da. You were just trolling, CC. Smart enough to self censor. Oh no. Yeah, I'm not worried about that, guys. Uh, I am kind of I'm just kind of disturbed. I hate the idea that all of these things are um, being manipulated, and they don't have to be. The opportunity to do it was created for no reason other than to try to make Disney relevant still in Fortnite. Terrible investment for Disney. Anyway, we need to move on. I got more to talk about, more to share because we had a box office, or I guess technically this weekend we currently are. It's just not going to be particularly good. If you take a look at the box office this weekend, you still have a marginal horror film that is okay, still doing well in theaters. I'm a rah rah for that because I like horror movies. But a new horror movie arrived. This is called Final Destination Bloodlines. And they think it's going to open to about $43 million. I have some questions. The film Snow White, I think, opened up to $43 million. I think I'm right there. Or maybe it was a little more. Maybe $43 million was the Marvels. All I know is that when a horror movie comes out of nowhere and opens bigger than a tent pole, a stalwart, a monster, you got a problem. You got a huge problem. Anthony D'Alessandro comes out of the woodwork on this one and doesn't really comment on the fact that this overall number is going to be very disappointing. So the $20 million Friday, which was really just a $16 million Friday, or I should say, not even 15, right? Yeah, it's about $4.6 million Thursday. Adding to that Friday gives you $20 million. It looks like it's going to be a $43 million 3-day gross in 3,523 theaters. Now, mind you, Snow White opened in over 4,000 theaters, 4,300 if I remember correctly. I'm telling you right now, Disney's dying in front of our very eyes. Sinners is in third place as of right now, based on its unprecedented hold. It's doing extraordinarily well. Thunderbolts is in second place with the third weekend of $16 million in just under 4,000 theaters. Another 50% drop, and still going to be under $200 million, $154.8 million. It's 14% ahead of the Eternals at a ticket price, and because of inflation, being astronomically more. That's wild. It's insane. It's nuts. Understand, they're going backwards with Marvel right now. Very quickly. I'm flabbergasted. I thought Disney was realigning themselves with you and me and everybody. Wasn't that happening? Weren't we getting back to being thoughtful about our movies and not putting out slop? Right? That's what Thunderbolts was representing after the slop that was the Brave New World movie. Okay. Except it's not improving any. And again, it's not a bad movie, but that's not praise. It's not performing well. It's not what the fans want. They will do everything but what the fans want, which is why we have Ironheart coming 5 years after they said it was coming. Almost 5 years anyway. What was it? It was December 10th of 2020, I think, if I remember correctly. So, yeah, not quite 5 years, just under 5 years to bring out a show that nobody wanted in such a way as to just basically get it over with as quickly as possible. They have 6 episodes. And again, I'm doing a video about this with Kevin, but it's something nobody wants. Nobody ever wanted it in any of its comic book forms. In 2019, when it ended its run before Feige went out to announce it, on November of 2019, it put out its last book of that run, which was the 12th book, and it sold less than 10,000 copies. And that was to stores, not the people. People, you probably can walk around from 2019 to comic stores and find that issue in almost perfect condition because nobody touched it. Nobody wanted to buy it, and it was never reprint. That thing is crap. And that's where Marvel is now. They're in the crap. And that's all Feige's fault, which is why we're getting shalalala ball, shalalala ding dong. That's why we're getting her instead of a proper Silver Surfer. Not that they should have started there anyway, but that's why we're about to be subjected. This is why they've had now 2 sets of reshoots in the course of the last 2 months to try to fix this, because the end of this is already going to be widely rejected. Anyway, regardless, back to the main weekend itself. The Final Destination Bloodlines is probably the best thing you're going to find in theaters this weekend, unless they've re-released something that I'm unaware of. Regardless, the overall numbers here are going to be terrible. And that truly is being kind. I am getting bombarded on my phone. I don't know why. It's my friend Jonas calling me. You know, Jonas J. Campbell. Yeah. Let's see. We got a couple of super chats and other things. Let's go and take a look real quick. Polly just realized I have a wrench. I think you've had a wrench for 5 years, bro. Let's see. Let's see. Disparu played classical music over the Ironheart trailer, and it was slightly less hateful. Well, there you go. There's that. Tony Piacetti says, does Disney even have any good storytellers anymore? Or did DEI drive them out? Well, I would say all arguments point towards being driven out. That's just my thoughts, though. Rob Alta says Disney needs a complete overhaul. Everyone in charge needs to go. It won't change unless everybody changes. I believe you. I agree with you. Thunderbolts is meh. You know, I did kind of sense that, you know, the old brother, where art thou? That's true. And I mean, it was set very specifically in a very specific time period so they could tell a very specific story. What I feel is that the Echo show, no, that's not what it's called. The Ironheart show is going to suffer from the same problem. You got to stop appealing to audiences like that. But you should appeal to audiences like SWG Rice for 10 Culture Casino memberships. Thank you, SWG Rice. The names go green. The names go in. The names go out. Amazing stuff. Thank you. Thank you very much. Bear Dance. Here we go. And we're back. Hey, real quickly, I just want to say Robin P is on track here. Disney does have good storytellers. The problem is they focus on the shareholder meetings. So very true. 100. Speaking 100 out there. Oh my goodness. We've got news, guys. And now we've reached the pièce de résistance, which is a fancy way to say that this is the feature of the day, the moment, the minute, the extravaganza, the festival. Speaking of festivals, Pedro Pascal's an idiot, and he puts it on display in a way the trades can exploit it, which makes me really happy. But what also makes me really happy is a super chat from Mark Daly for 10 Culture Casino cash saying Disney is giving us a gender bent surfer. Yes. Which, by the way, Shalalala Ball was only in 4 books that I know of. A dumbed down read. Well, it's Pedro Pascal. They had to, cast for that. And a Mary Sue Storm girl boss, which is something I was calling out before we got a teaser for this, because that's exactly what it was. But I will say that not only is the alarm going off, there are obvious signs of disaster already here. I Got You, Babe is playing on the radio, and McDowell is nowhere in sight. Andy McDowell. I know. It's Groundhog Day again. That was funny. We used to make memes of that as it being Variant Day. If you know, you know. But thank you for that, Mark. That was brilliant. I appreciate it. Keep it real. It's okay. Play catch up. Play it at 2 or 3 times speed. I've seen better gender bends in anime. So have I, Fallen Angel. The links. I'm just saying. All right, let's get on this. Hey, Hannibal Grimm's here. They need to take a long look at the definitions of hero and villains. Yeah, but they only identify with that. And there's our friend Latino Slant. That's Paulie right there. He is a good dude. All right. Let's see. Let's just get to this Pedro story because he's an idiot, and I like to talk about Pedro when he's an idiot, which means I end up talking about it more than probably anybody wants. But this Eddington film at the Cannes Film Festival right now seems to be ruffling political feathers, and that's what it's designed to do. Pedro went out and became part of something to, irritate people. Ari Aster's explosive satirical neo-Western takes a big swing at MAGA culture. Well, there you go. And this probably is not going to help things. Damon Wise is definitely not going to help things with this one. You can definitely check out this review. They set it in late May 2020 because of the vid becoming a thing, and residents in Eddington in Seville County are getting used to life with all of the crazy things that, well, were later revealed to be crazy things. So all of this talks about everybody's perspective and how their views align or do not, and just kind of walks through exactly the kind of thing that you think it would. And films can be about anything. They can be about anyone. That's kind of the point of film, is to do some storytelling. But this is divisively designed, so much so that the promotion around it that Pedro has been doing has been divisive. And the idea that there's some kind of political chaos in this time is silly. Pedro Pascal says, F the people. Oops, I didn't share that, did I? Let's get to that. Pedro Pascal says, F the people that try to make you scared. I don't think this was the sentiment that he was sharing back in 2019, 2020, as we were entering into COVID. I think he was part of the problem, and it probably would still be willingly wearing, personal protection to this day. It'd be better for all of us, I'm sure. But when asked about U.S. political chaos, because that's something you would definitely want to talk about in a movie, um, fight back. Don't let them win. That was back in November, bro. But that's fine. And again, he is a interesting case. So he had a strong message about the current political chaos in the U.S. There's no chaos. Uh, and he says this bad thing, F the people who try to make you scared. I'm not sure how that was an answer to a question. I'm sure it was to one. And I know it's probably taken out of context because it's written by a journalist. So when the cast, also including Joaquin Phoenix, Emma Stone, and Austin Butler, was asked if they were worried about re-entering the U.S., ladies and gentlemen, hyperbole, thy name is the profession of acting. So what else are they going to say? Oh no, I'm looking forward to like hanging on my Hobie cat, fishing. No. They're going to say fear is the way they win. No, fear is the way that the journalists try to win. And of course, so do the people who do all of these demonstrations and light things on fire, just like the Summer of Love. That was about fear. That was about violence. So I'm not sure this is the right way to go about things, Pascal, but whatever. So keep telling the stories, keep expressing yourself, and keep fighting to be who you are. F people that try to make you scared, and fight back. This is the perfect way to do so in telling stories. Don't let them win. I don't have a problem with telling stories. I think you can certainly change people's minds with stories, but then again, you have to find a logical center that you can tell your story around, and you have to remain intellectually honest when you're telling it. Authenticity is something that's lacking in any kind of quote unquote storytelling these days. If we had actual storytelling, it'd be a different thing entirely. But Eddington apparently premiered last night at the to a 5-minute standing ovation. If you know anything about Cannes Film Festival, you'll know this. Cannes is outlined by the levels of applause you receive at the end of your film. Polite applause, which means you made a film and nothing else, and might have been in focus. That's a 5-minute ovation. That's just polite applause. If people liked the movie or thought it was okay, you probably get about 7. And if they are effusive about it and it's groundbreaking, if it's something extraordinary, it's 10 minutes or more. 5 minutes is not great. And of course, River Phoenix would not have done what Joaquin did and broken down visibly emotional during a short, polite applause, which was basically just saying, thanks for making it in focus. Oh. So earlier in the press conference, Pascal was also asked about Trump's immigration policies. Of course, that's what this movie was for. Not about the difference of opinion and the people's choice for freedom between two border towns, different states. That's not what this movie was about. It was about immigration policies. And got candid about the responsibility he feels when speaking on the topic. I really have some things I would love to say about the fact that his path to the U.S. Was running away because his family was communist, socialist, something-ists, and they ran to Denmark for their asylum. Oh, the world would have been much different if he got stuck in Denmark. Maybe substantially different. But then he made his way finally to the U.S. to pollute our shores with his parents' politics and thoughts. Thanks for that. Speaking about his inspiration for Eddington, Astor wrote the film as in a state of fear and anxiety about the world. That's how he wrote the film. Well, of course, everybody was being fed a bunch of lines that, upon reflection and more information, know for a fact were manipulating. Yeah. So all of these, and now they're decrying hyper individualism, freedom. We never had a problem with hyper individual or hyper individualism or freedom. Never did. But that's apparently something Astor seems to be having trouble with. He's also having trouble with something I agree with, believe it or not. It's that the social force that used to be central in liberal mass democracies, well, that's not exactly true, especially not the Democratic Party, and agreed upon vision of the world, that is gone now. And COVID felt like the moment where that link was finally cut for good. Yeah, especially since they lied to us extensively. I think people are still pissed off about that, and for good reason. So yeah, believe it or not, people don't like injustice, especially when it's done to them as a people, and especially when it's you know, couched in a whole lot of other language. So Pedro's not making friends. This is a great way to promote all kinds of things, including this movie. So congratulations on rerunning the same stale playbook. And there's that. The movie may actually be good, but based on the applause, not so much. And if it's designed to be divisive, um, it's not going to be as commercially successful as you would hope either, which kind of bums me out. If things are continually made for political reasons or to reflect any of those kinds of ideas, we're going to be devoid of entertainment soon. If you do something for pure virtue signaling reasons, you're going to be devoid of money soon. I mean, Snow White done divisively for that divisive purpose. It was always going to be a Hispanic actress. Could some other actresses have made a better of it? Of course. Rachel Zegler was a disaster, not just because of the change in this, a substantial change in the story and the character description. It was because of the very poor representation of the person that was playing the role. That's not good. You could have put many people in there. I think Paulie was one of the people that actually pointed that out to me. I don't think anybody would have flipped out over Jenna Ortega, or not nearly as much, or anybody else. The problem is you keep stacking on the insults. And when it comes to storytelling, people feel ownership of those stories. It's one of the things that made Disney what it is. And now they're trying to shed the people that, they made fans because they brought them into their stories. Very strange. Let's see what else is out there. Yeah, Mark says, I'm not watching this movie. I don't pay people to insult me. Yeah, and that's the other problem with the way things are marketed these days. But this is a little film. It's not a giant studio picture. It has big people in it, but you know, lots of bleeding hearts. I think everybody's tired of preachy films, mostly me, and yet I keep go seeing them. Did culture change the guidelines for modding this chat? I've seen 3 comments in the stream that have been held for. I haven't touched anything. I haven't touched anything, 6, so I don't know. It could be YouTube doing it, or it could be their policies change. I've changed nothing. I let people attack me openly. You can see that for the most part. Yeah, and look, I mean, And this is actually the broader point that I wanted to talk about today when it came to these stories about this Eddington film. I'm sure the filmmaker did the best job they could on making the film that they wanted to represent on screen. It got an opportunity to be shown at Cannes. It got a polite applause. But it also allowed Pedro to speak. I love that because this guy piles on all kinds of hateful crap and gives even more evidence stacked to his political opinions being okay. He technically, I mean, he's still in the promotion cycle for this Fantastic Four movie. And it's going to get even more intense. And if you don't think that some idiot from Variety or Hollywood Reporter or Deadline or even over at The Wrap, which, you know, is Susan Waxman's harder core version of communism. Is that her name? Sharon Waxman. That's what it is. Anyway, I'm just going to say that here you go. This is things that Pedro's allowed to say that are directed towards politics, and we're okay with the politics of hate as long as it's Pedro. Because you have to remember that's one of the ways that it was characterized when Gina reposted an Instagram feed about what happened during the 40s that had some remarkable echoes at the time. Mikey, did you send another super? Did Mikey send another super that I missed? Let's take a look. I mean, Paulie sent me a super for $2. He's sending me money to do this, guys. It's a joke. Hashtag unsubbed, hashtag brown justice. I love you guys. I think I read Mark Daly's. Pretty sure. Yeah, I read this one. So there's that. So I don't know what's going on. I don't know what bees in anybody's bonds. I see there folks in Rumble over there. See Vic over there. Galaxy Red. Look at all these wonderful beings over there. Good to see you all. Low Spec said the Paul Reed Smith guitar sold out in days. Woo! Lots of great conversation over there on the Green Machine. Let's keep going. We got more to talk about, more to visit on, more to see. Yeah. No, I think everybody knows that, Mikey. I really do. Mikey sent one a while ago. You guys are on fire. Hey, John. John's here. What's up? Look at all these amazing beings. All right. We got a super duper chat from the Green Machine, otherwise known as a Rumble Rant for 5 Culture Casino Cash under the pseudonym of Proctor Deuces Stupendium Compendium, also known as Tobak. Tobak says, Culture, I tried to be just enough. Never too much over the line. You're a favorite creator because you interact with your chat, so if we are too bombastic, put us in check. Gaedro Emascual style. Gaedro Emascual style. Oh, Tobak. Nice swing, bro. All right. We got one more. We got one more story that we have to get to because it's important to me. And I saw I'm curious what you guys think of the ballerina trailer. I really enjoyed it. I think Ballerina is going to be fun. Looking forward to that. Um, Chileans always crying about Pinochet. Well, yeah, especially if there were commies. They didn't want to be taken for one of those sightseeing adventures in the helicopter. Those tours. 6. The trouble with RZ and Peepaw is not their political opinions, it's their meanness about how they express themselves. I just know that he's an interesting cat. Let's say it that way. Let's just say that. The action will be cringe, but she's so hot, says Amelia Clark. Scroll arm. Um, yeah, Anna Darmus is pretty hot. Let's just take a look at this because I think that this will make me feel better about talking about this. Um, Things are going to change in a way that productions will change, and this is a conversation that I think Polly and I need to have someday because it's the only way Hollywood will survive in California. John Wick's outfit, Thunder Road, and billionaire entrepreneur Steve Klinsky form a development production pact, including multi-million dollar fund and multiple projects revealed. This is why the Cannes market and others of these films festivals are actually important. Most people don't realize the kind of business it's done in these places. So what's important to me isn't just that business is moving on as usual, as it always does in Hollywood, but John Wick is definitely going to move forward in a bigger way that includes that. But the things that are tied to the partnership already comprises several new projects, such as The Surgeon, which is on sale at Cannes, Perdition, it's a survival thriller, The Nest, uh, that looks like a elite sniper ensnared in an ist attempt. Let's see, we got Moscow X, that's an espionage film, and Ghosting, and many, many more things. But this particular partnership was brokered by CAA. They got the agencies in there now. Traveled Worlds was set up by Klinsky a decade ago. In 2016, produced the feature Manhattan's Night and some other stuff. He's already working with Studio Canal Plus. He's really going to town, and it looks like it's doing well. Very excited for this partnership. Very excited for the potential for more stuff coming out of John Wick. Fascinating. Anyway, I'm weird like that. I know. I always look for the potential, like something could be better. I like things to be better. Vic is still on the fence about Ballerina. It's looking like a female version of John Wick. And we also have that one with Atomic Blonde. I didn't think Atomic Blonde was too bad, but I understand your meaning. I'll say that they obviously did a lot of reshot. They reworked a lot of action. They had her do a lot of reshooting of action stuff. I think they're really trying to sell it. And I know that they need to sell it. I think that if John Wick stays in the John Wick universe, John Wick's going to have to be a little less physical than he has been in the past and more of a person maybe over the table, kind of in the background. We'll have to see. But I'm excited. Story's going to be good, I think. Ballerina is currently tracking for $40 million domestic, so it'll be right in line with um, the Final Destination Bloodlines and the Marvels, right? That should be good, right? Of course, they're working on the last John Wick film. It is coming, kids. 5. Let's sing a song of 5. All right. I think I'm all caught up on supers. I'm all caught up on Rumble Rants. I'm all caught up everywhere. But I'm not caught up with breakfast. So let's see what you guys have to say. Luke, how you doing, buddy? Does anybody have anything last minute before we devolve into some last moments of the show myself? Because we could talk about you know what? We are going to do that. We're going to take a look at what Swiss Cheesehead. Why do I have so much trouble with the word Swiss? I always want to say swish, probably because of basketball. But let's take a look at 2 things. Make sure it's not running already. It's not. Okay. Early on, a lot of people were very, very worried. Very, very worried. Because they witnessed some things being said, done. They witnessed some actions. And they really don't want me to talk about it, apparently. I'm back. That was strange. But this made it all the way to Axios. This is a just one representation of massive amounts of difficulty with identifying times, places, and people, which is a bad sign if you know anything about aging and brain deterioration. And for how many years with which we struggled through that. The president, lots of these recordings, I imagine, are going to come out. This is only the first wave. This is about 4 minutes long. We won't play the whole thing. But it's not something we can ignore anymore. And we have to ask a question. Who was running the United States of America when this happened, or this was happening? Let's play this. Let me know if you can hear it.
And there were documents related to the Penn Biden Center or the Biden or the cancer finger shot or your book. Where did you keep papers that related to those things that you were actively working on?
Well, I don't know. This is what, 2017, 18, that area?
Yes, sir.
Remember, in this time frame, my son is either been deployed or is dying. And
he doesn't know where he was storing his papers, documents, including classified stuff. He can't separate when he lost his son or when he was in the war. He can't separate time frames. He can't separate people from time frames. He can't separate other time frames from other time frames. Now, mind you, I'm getting older. My brain is, what it is. But this is not great. Oh, there's no video to go along with this. It's an audio recording. It's a still picture. This isn't a fishy fake. This is an eager effort to get through various passages of his memoir and other things. This is not fishy in any way. This is from Townhall, Axios, and other places. This is actual legitimate media data.
And so it was, and by the way, there were still a lot of people at the time when I got out of the Senate that were encouraging me to run in this period, except the president. It's not a mean thing to say. I mean, he just thought that she had a better shot of winning the presidency than I did. And so I hadn't at this point, even though I'm at Penn, I hadn't walked away from the idea that I might run for office again. So if I ran again, I'd be running for president. And so
the question is, he never answered the question, obviously, but the question being is, he wasn't at Penn. He was still in active term as the vice president under Obama when he's talking about this stuff that he's referencing as something in a different time frame. This goes on and on for quite some time. You can find this clip elsewhere. Axios and many others have been through it. You can find this probably linked to Townhall and other places like that. I have the whole clip, but I'm very worried because we were being told by the media for a very long time that we were crazy. Everything was fine. He's sharp as a tack. It's all good. I don't think so. I don't think so. When, we got to the debate, it was on display. Nobody could run away from that anymore. There was a lot of very questionable incidents, I should say, that were occurring regularly. And they were constantly, chronically inventing new excuses to talk about the president. But I don't even care about all that. I mean, this happens. You get old, you lose your mind. It happens. At the same time, the 25th Amendment is there for a reason, for this type of thing to happen. Why was the 25th not imposed? Why did we not move out of this era? Who was running the White House and the presidency? Who was signing bills? I think everybody would want somebody that was very well collected in their mind to be, paying attention, reading bills they were signing or vetoing. I think that's a problem. And I think that over the course of the next few weeks, if our new media is worth anything, there's going to be a long conversation about those things and about who to blame. Certainly, why nobody holds the news media accountable. I don't normally dive this deeply into politics, but this struck me. This shook me. Because nobody can deny this. This is the kind of proof that when you get it, you probably should pay attention to it. I mean, we're going to be coming up on a lot of different types of proof for various things. We've already seen proof of some events that we talked about earlier in the show, like the Diddy thing. I imagine we'll see some Jeffrey stuff here relatively soon, just enough to whet people's appetite, not enough to solve a problem. But you understand the point. If you weren't worried about how the country was being governed and managed, then that's fine. I just don't know how you couldn't be. An executive was not in possession of their executive function. That's an actual term for things, the way your mind processes things. The executive functions didn't seem to be there, and direct connection to memory didn't seem to be there. There was no hierarchical timeline that could be recollected and placed in proper order. The differentiation between operations of government and family are intermingled. I'm just saying, I'm worried. And Sean, artist formerly known as John Cusack, says they still wanted to try to cover it up if you look at the initial reaction from PMSNBC. It took like 5 minutes before they got the message to dump the president. Well, yeah, I watched it back then. But I think the problem is that for many accounts, I won't say from all, but for many accounts early on, prior to even his election, people were talking about this. And it's only going to get worse. Jeremiah Hembry, a member for 16 months, great to see you, my friend, says, you're not going to talk about anime Fox Lady? Well, I don't know what this reference is. I should know who this reference is, but I don't. Yeah. So if anybody's wondering, and I don't think anybody is, why anybody would be trusting the mainstream media, you have another reason not to. At some point in time, whether you're PMSNBC, which, the new Jen Psaki show is dying. I reported that story several days ago. I know some other people recently dropped some stories on that. But that thing started out badly. Tuesday through Thursday, the numbers are terrible. It started out okay on the premiere night of Tuesday, mostly just looky-loos. And after that, it had already fallen off a cliff. 54% in the demo. These numbers aren't going to get better. PMSNBC is doomed. ABC's on its way out. They're at the point where, I've got a story coming up about significantly important about what's going on over at ABC television. That'll be out here either this weekend or early this week. There's so much happening where nobody trusts the news anymore. This is wild. I want to say thank you to the amazing, the lovely, the incredible Jillian H. The newlywed gifts 10 Culture Casino memberships. Thank you for that, Jillian. Much appreciated, dear. You are amazing. That audio tape is what it sounds like. See, I had to add the word it. Not what a sounds like, what it sounds like, Mike. I'll fix it for you. When I talk to Culture Casino on the phone. LOL. See, that's a good joke. Da, 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 da. Dark Hierophant says the wagon circled. They definitely did. I mean, again, I've listened to this 4 minutes and 22 seconds multiple times, but this is just one excerpt from that particular audio recording. I think by the time this gets up and down through Congress, they're going to have somebody to blame. I just don't know who it's going to be. Tony Piacente says the media should be able to be sued when they are found lying. I agree with you. One of the biggest problems in the United States most recently was caused by Barack Obama, excuse me. Or Barry Swento. That's his actual name. Barry went out there and helped to destroy the Smith-Mundt Act, which was there that required the federal government that it not lie to the people, making it a crime. And so on and so on. Basically what that did, what his efforts resulted in, was us being allowed to be lied to through the news media to propagandize the U.S. citizens. You could propagandize everybody else. You just couldn't do it to the U.S. citizens. Yeah, that doesn't stand anymore. Need to get that back. Did I miss Darth Vader yelling the N-word? You did. And we didn't even have to say it. Everybody knew what I was talking about. Culture Casino should do a Friday show with Kirsch. I'd love to do a Friday show with Kirsch. That'd be a lot of fun. Everybody's saying Kirsha. Kirsha's been getting in trouble for not a lot of good reasons. Let's just say it that way. Jeremiah Hembry for another 5 Culture Casino cash on top of the membership chat says, you need to go to the yard tomorrow to understand what we're talking about. Okay, I'll check it out. I'll definitely check it out, my friend. Da, 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 da. Da, 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 da. I'm going to be in Discord later this afternoon or this evening. Thank you, Jillian. By the way, coming up next, Salty Nerd Podcast. My friends over there have a lot to talk about. And it looks like a certain candidate is going to be over there. That'll be fun. Yeah. Anything else going on? Trying to catch up with everybody. Sorry about that, folks, but the chat is a nightmare right now. You guys are amazing. I love it. But on that note, we are going to wrap it. And just think about this. We really don't know who was running the country for a period of time. And that should be something we talk about how to fix. Anyway, on that note, do check out Solid Nerd Podcast coming up next and be aware. Make sure you have the little bell icon turned on down below to make sure you get all notifications because I'm going to be dropping videos starting later this afternoon and going through all the way next week and live streams wherever they normally appear and all of that good stuff. So as always, be sure to take care of yourself, take care of others, and until next time, I feel like AOAO needs to happen. What about you? I think so.
Oh, the culture had a farm, E-I-E-I-O. And on that farm we had a cock, E-I-E-I-O. With a cock here and a cock there. Here a cock, there a cock, everywhere a cock. Old the culture had a farm, E-I-E-I-O.
And real quickly, just a quick thank you to my good friend, my pal, my buddy, the master of mods, the mensch of wrenches, Eric K. for 5 Culture Casino memberships. Thank you, my friend. And with that, it's time for some koalas in the rain.
Yeah. Sometimes I get so mad, there's no controlling me. My thoughts get so bad, I'm like, I might grab a bat.
My goodness. You guys went bananas at the end. Max Relax dropped 20 Culture Casino memberships. We were on the way out the door and somehow you dragged me back in. My goodness. Thank you, Max Relax. You are incredible. We appreciate you so very much. And we're not even Canadian. So yeah, everybody have the amazing, great weekend. We will get back to your interrupted AOAO. Just say a wonderful thank you to Max. Thanks, Max. That was fun. I haven't interrupted myself in a long time. Now, let's get AOAO.
Yeah. Sometimes I get so mad, there's no controlling me. My thoughts get so bad, I'm like, I might grab a bat. I don't know, my wrath, my blood boils over like, oh God, here goes. I lost all feeling from my head to my toes. You said some shit that I can't let go, so just stay tuned for the rest of the show. So have you ever felt betrayed? Switches how you see things, realize something needs change. Cause I know you got me fucked joke, I'ma poke a hole through you, choking's overdue. Come at me and you won't get any older, dude. Crack your holder too. Heating up inside of me, blood so violently. Thanks for trying me. Now it's finally time to see how this rivalry becomes a dynasty.